Southwest Airlines is in absolute disarray with over 2,000 canceled flights, and they're blaming the weather. Kid you not. And the mainstream media is going along with it. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest regarding the massive disruptions for Southwest passengers. We're going to see why so many believe that this was indeed due to mass sickouts staged by pilots protesting Southwest VAX mandates. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal what's the real takeaway from these mass cancellations. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote, offering patriotic analysis to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. A huge shout out to all of you I got to see in Jacksonville over the weekend at the American Freedom Tour with Donald Trump Jr., Dan Bongino, Kayleigh McEnany. It was such an honor to meet and chat with so many of you, and I look forward to doing it again with our next meetup and our next tour stop. Before we begin, let's give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's Prepper's Peak, new solar water heater. With all the lockdowns we just witnessed over the last year, this solar water heater can turn out to be our very best friend. The solar water heater is an amazing device that allows you to heat and boil water outdoors using simply, you guessed it, the sunlight. It can heat water in as little as 30 minutes and work anywhere the sun shines. And the best part is if you click on the link below right now, you're going to get an additional 15% off their already reduced price. So don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on the link below before they sell out and get your own Patriot Sun Cooker today. All right, gang. Let's dive right in here. Southwest Airlines had to cancel nearly 2,000 flights this weekend, citing, if you can believe it, they blamed it on bad weather and ATC issues, or air traffic control issues. According to FlightAware.com, which is a website that tracks cancellations and delays, there were 1,018 flights canceled on Sunday alone, following 808 flights canceled on Saturday. That's a cancellation of upwards of 30% of their scheduled flights. Now, obviously, very few are buying the weather excuse, nor should they. A meteorologist out of Denver, Colorado, was reported to have said, quote, "Based on what I've seen, there doesn't appear to be any high-impact weather that would have significantly affected Southwest operations yesterday or today." And that, of course, was confirmed by the fact that no other airlines suffered comparable cancellations in their scheduling. So clearly the weather wasn't to blame for the mass cancellations over at Southwest. But the mainstream media is giving us no other explanation. Isn't that interesting? There's a total media blackout as to why Southwest in particular has had so many flight cancellations over the weekend. Again, upwards of 30% of their flights. You have to search far and wide to find an alternative explanation, and that's precisely what passengers are giving. It's being reported by local news media affiliates that passengers who asked Southwest employees what's really going on found out that this was all over, surprise, surprise, the VAX mandates that Southwest announced would go into effect by December 8th. That's right, Southwest announced that they were requiring all employees to be vaxxed or else find another job. And so in protest, they were told by Southwest employees that there was a massive walkout among pilots all over the weekend, as well as traffic control employees. Now, again, Southwest is denying that, and the mainstream media has blacked out that story. But it looks like we're starting to get some leaks as of today. CNBC reported that Southwest did indeed confirm that they were experiencing, quote, their own shortage of available staff over the weekend that did contribute to the massive cancellations. A local Jacksonville reporter as well confirmed that limited staff at least partially led to mass flight cancellations in Florida. We also now know that over the weekend, Southwest airline pilots asked a court to temporarily block the company from carrying out VAX mandates. They took the matter to a federal court in Dallas, Texas. Southwest is based in Dallas, hoping to put a stay on such mandates in accordance with airline union protocols, arguing that the mandate violates the Railway Labor Act, which governs airline union relations. Remember, unions have not been very supportive of vax mandates at all, certainly not monolithically. There's been a lot of pushback there, and that pushback now involves the courts and Texas courts at that. Now, keep in mind, a mass sick-out is very hard to confirm because, as I understand it, it's illegal, okay? Pilots' unions are not going to admit to it, so it's very difficult to confirm in terms of an explicit public admission. But circumstantial evidence does seem to point in that direction. Henry H. Hardevolt, president and travel industry analyst at the Atmosphere Research Group, told the Associated Press that, yes, Southwest issues could indeed be tied to pilots engaging in a mass sick-out protest. And so this is why more and more alt media sites such as Breitbart are coming out and reporting that this was indeed due to a mass walkout by pilots and other airline staff in protest against the vax mandates imposed on them by Southwest. TMZ is reporting that the surge in cancellations is being increasingly blamed on a mass sick-out by pilots. Texas Senator Ted Cruz tweeted out his opinion on the matter, saying that the mass disruption was, quote, Joe Biden's illegal vaccine mandate at work. Suddenly we're short on pilots and air traffic controllers. And the ripple effect of the backlash is just growing and growing by the minute. Representative Chip Roy, congressman from the great free state of Texas, has announced that he's working on legislation that would require all companies that took bailouts from the federal government to have to pay them back if they fired so much as a single employee over a vax mandate. And others are saying that if you're in denial over sick-outs staged by aviation workers and pilots because of the vax mandates, just wait until truck drivers go on strike. Imagine how the mainstream media is going to try to blame empty food shelves on the weather as well. It's just beyond absurd. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out, quote, just wait until the pilots walk out next, and truck drivers and more nurses, doctors, healthcare workers. Just wait. And even Amtrak has announced train cancellations due to, quote, unforeseen crew issues. It does appear that there really is an uprising going on all over the nation in defiance of what is increasingly seen as technocratic tyranny. And the memes are starting to come out as well. I love this one. Let's go, Brandon, splashed across a Southwest airplane. And so what all of this is turning out to be, when all is said and done, I think, is the triumph of the alt media. Alt media is dictating the narrative here. And the old legacy media is increasingly being left behind. More and more people appear to be going to social media to get the real story of what's going on here, bypassing and ignoring the old legacy mainstream media. For example, take a look at what Buck Sexton said on Twitter, quote, lying to the American people about the cause of a major works strike that has crippled an airline seems very Soviet, doesn't it? And that captures the sentiment for tens of millions of people right now. The legacy media, the old urbanized, industrialized world that's quickly fading away, simply is not trustworthy anymore. Their refusal to even consider a mass sick-out is itself considered increasingly sickening to more and more people. And so they're going to alt media for the kind of on-the-ground investigative reporting that used to characterize the mainstream legacy media before the rise of the network society. So we'll obviously be keeping an eye on how things develop here, but in terms of the narrative that seems to have won the day this weekend, chalk up a big win for alt media. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video on how support for secession is absolutely surging among both Trump and Biden voters. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless. Let's go, Brandon.